Hello. Old Dad here. I'm getting ready to watch SmackDown. Nia Jax, become a good guy. She's supposed to be facing off against Jade Cargill. I think that Nia Jax is going to win. That's an Old Dad opinion. We're going to see if I'm right. I hope LA Knight gets the mic. I hope The Miz is awesome. I'm hoping Carmelo Hayes has a match, especially after last week. Him versus Aleister Black. Oh, Old Dad's fingers are crossed. That's what an Old Dad wants. That's what an Old Dad needs in his life. I was watching a video with Stephanie McMahon doing an interview with Bianca Belair today. I'll tell you more about that as we go on. That's a new podcast that she's got. I'll tell you more about that as we go on. But let's get to SmackDown. All right. So Old Dad got his Claymore. Now, all the things that I could have wanted out of that match, I had LA Knight talk, and I got my Claymore. Jacob Fatu seemed a little under the weather. I don't care how one person says, or as an Old Dad, you can tell those type of things. And the fact that Solo Sikoa did 90% of that match on his side just says that Jacob Fatu was under the weather. Some of the ways that they were slamming him was different than the regular slams. It was much more controlled. You could tell that Jacob Fatu was under the weather. Besides that, though, the match was really good. And the real drama in that match had to do with Damian Priest and LA Knight back and forth, tagging each other, tagging themselves in. And finally kind of getting into it at the end. Then Jacob Fatu came out, beat them both up, then stood tall with his title, and then Claymore. Drew McIntyre shows up, claymores him, stands with the title, lays it on top of him, and leaves. Old Dad's happy. That's what Old Dad wanted. Moving on. All right, you'll never believe who came out. You probably already heard it. You probably already know, but it was Alexa Bliss. Old Dad was excited. Old Dad, I'm telling you what, I was waiting because Carmelo Hayes is wrestling later. I was waiting. I was going to do that for my podcast, and I was like, Alexa Bliss, that's happening. That's happening. Now, I've got to kind of keep myself paced. But I'm telling you what, Old Dad just about jumped out of his chair. I was so excited. And then she did a Sister Abigail. She won the match. She faced, so Zelina Vega and Alexa Bliss. And luckily, I had her up on my desk. How about that? Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega, they both went up against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Now, the biggest takeaway of that whole match was Piper Niven took a Mexican destroyer, got rolled out of the ring, got right back up. Hit with the Meteora, but she took a Mexican destroyer, rolled out of the ring, and got right back up. That is one impressive human being. But I was so excited about Alexa Bliss coming back. Now all I need is the Wyatt 6. That'll make Old Dad even happier. All right, we're moving on. Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill. Now, my takeaway of this was Jade Cargill did actual power moves where she had to lift Nia Jax. Not just go to the top turnbuckle and move her. Now, one point she did, and I thought it was almost a shame because she literally picked up Nia Jax. She did a spine buster to Nia Jax. She did a suplex to Nia Jax. She didn't need the press. But the match was good. Jade showed her power. And at the end, she came out. Well, actually, before it started, she came out and she went to get in her car and she says, Charlotte, we need to talk. That's exactly how it went. Anyway, so besides all that, that match was great. Naomi comes out. She goes and she attacks Tiffany Stratton. Then Annihilator. Jade Cargill took her eye off the ball. Boom! Annihilator. Do I have any complaints? No. Only thing I need now is Nia Jax to become a good guy, because that's what old dad wants. Will it happen? I don't know. Maybe. I've seen worse things. I've seen stranger things. Andre the Giant became a bad guy at one point in my life. Didn't see that coming. I want him to just be like, hello, lady. All right, moving on. Fraxiom versus the Street Profits was all over the place. That match was so impressive. Now, if there's a match that you want to see right after old dad's here, that's the match you want to see. I'm telling you what, I may rewatch it again. Just because it was so all over the place. Finishing move after finishing move, tag team finishing moves at that. And it really came down to Montez Ford having busted up ribs. That match was everywhere. That match was everything. It was wonderful. It ended with handshakes and things like that. There was this point where Montez Ford did a save by stepping over the person that was on the pin to hit the other person. That was good. That was so good. And then it ended with Fraxiom getting the 1, 2, 3. Fraxiom's now got a title shot, and old dad was happy. I wouldn't mind seeing that match again. I really wouldn't. All right, we're moving on. All right, I haven't had a chance to do this in a while. The Arby's commercials are wonderful. So good, in fact, that I'm tempted to get Arby's, which ain't a norm. Not that it ain't a norm that I don't get Arby's, but that a commercial makes me want to go out and buy something. The last time this happened was a SmackDown commercial, and I was buying Papa John's pizza. Then they took the kids off. I haven't bought Papa John's pizza since. I like Shaq, but he's on every commercial. If I bought everything Shaq sold, I would never get a payday. So that does nothing for me. But the kids are fun. And the kids on TikTok, they're fun. Now, the Arby's commercial, that's fun. Cedric Alexander and what's his face, they just make me smile. And that's all Dad wants. That's all old Dad wants. All right, I'm moving on. Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, this is a match old Dad's been wanting to see. I did my whole reaction on the podcast while it was going on, but this match is a match I've been wanting to see all week. I said last week that I wanted to see that match whenever those two went face to face, and I was hoping to see it, and I got my wish. Now, that match did not end in Black Mass. It ended in a roll-up. That means that we could end up having another match between them two. And do I want to see it? Absolutely. What happened was Miz came up before Black Mass could happen, interfered. But when Carmelo Hayes went to hit Aleister Black, he ended up hitting the Miz and got rolled up. 1, 2, 3. That's cool. Miz goes to jump back in the ring. Black Mass to Miz. Miz got knocked out. But they're setting it up for another match. Old Dad wants to see that. That didn't end in the way that you would think it'd end. So chances are they're going to do it again. And Old Dad is all in. Did I think that match was good? I thought that match was great. And their faces, their way they acted, the way they did, all told a story. And Old Dad was all about that story. So, fingers crossed we see it again. Moving on. Okay, so I'm hoping Alberto joins with Andrade. Andrade and Rey Fenix went up against Los Garza. Well, what's his face? And I've been watching for Alberto to switch over. Angel Garza's good too, but that Berto is just, he shines. He's got the hit, high fly, flippy do, and power. You know who would be interesting to see him one-on-one with is Montez Ford. I think that would be a good match. Now, it's probably happened. If I probably look it up, and I'm like, blah, 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 it would be right there. But that's the thing. I'm not going to do that. I would like to see the match all the same. So, he ended up, what's-his-face, Santos Escobar was just like getting in his face, poking at him, and he finally was like, enough, you know? He didn't say enough. He got like, right in his face, and then was like, and walked away from him, like he was done with it. This has been a storyline building, and Old Dad's loving it. Long-term storylines. Old Dad's loving it. This payoff, I'm all in. I'm all in. So, just to throw it out, Rey Fenix and Andrade did win. But the story is what got me. And now is he going to join Andrade? Oh, that's going to be fun. And is Angel Garza going to go with Berto? Or is he going to stay with, what's his face? I should know. Santos. All right, we're moving on. John Cena came out. John Cena said Randy Orton said he's like a piece of furniture here. Then he said, yeah, like a lazy boy. And then just dogged Randy Orton's whole career. He went on to say about how Randy Orton's going to fail in this next match, just like he failed in his 2006 drug test. He said that he's going to just, he basically went on about saying how he was going to beat him. And then all of a sudden, Randy Orton comes out, goes for the RKO. John Cena seen it coming, grabbed a hold of him. Boom. Then he stands up, raises his title. All of a sudden, there's Orton. The guy's still laying there. There's Orton. RKO. It was boom. Then he grabbed the title. He kissed the title. People love putting their mouths on titles here lately. I don't know. Between Jacob Fatu licking the title, Randy Orton making out with it. Everybody likes kissing titles, putting their mouths on titles these days. I want to go over my notes. I actually have some notes this time. Note number 1. Drew McIntyre. Actually, that's most of my notes, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre said about Jacob Fatu, he says, the one thing about being all gas and no brakes is eventually you're going to hit a wall. And that wall is Drew McIntyre. That was awesome. He also said he's going to be the silver bullet. That was awesome too. I can't say I don't want Drew McIntyre to win. I can't say I don't want to see LA Knight with the title. I don't want to see Jacob Fatu lose. I mean, this is all. And Damian Priest's last title run with the world title, that was epic. So, of all the matches I'm all in for, that one. That's the main one. Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. Yeah, I want to see it. Do I want to see the world title match? Absolutely. But that match is the one I'm all in for. But what about you? Which one are you all in for? I would love to hear it. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Share this with a friend. I will see you soon. I have a podcast coming out, and I'm here all the time. I'm like Randy Orton in WWE. I'm part of the furniture now. All right. I'll see you next time. Later.